So does no money down really mean no money down? Hey, it's your buddy, it's your mortgage guy, Jamie Millheiser here. I'm feeling a lot of stress from the street with potential home buyers that are getting kind of enamored with this thing about no money down, little money down, and then the next question they say is, hey Millie, what about the closing costs? Here's the most direct answer I have. No money down can mean no money down, or it can mean you're going to get nickel and dime like you've never been nickel and dime before between the day you accept that contract and the closing table. Let's talk real quick about what can happen and where you get nickel and dimed. The first thing that happens, especially in the state of Wisconsin, is what we call escrow shortfall. Let's say you buy a home at the end of April, the 4th month of the year. The seller is going to credit you 4 months of taxes, but your first payment on your new mortgage isn't going to be due till June 1. That's going to mean that at the closing table, as a lender, we are going to impound or escrow 6 months of taxes. You're getting a credit for 4, but you have an expense of 6. That's a 2-month shortfall, and if the taxes on the house are $2,400 a year, that's $400 right there. That's got to come from somewhere. The second thing that happens, a lot of people tend to forget about, is the first year of homeowner's insurance. That has to be paid prior to or at the closing table. An average yearly premium for homeowners in the Fox cities, somewhere around $500. So that's another $500 that has to come from somewhere, and hopefully it's not your checking account. So if you're running a score at home, we're at $900 already. The next thing that's going to happen is the title fees. Title fees on an average purchase for the buyer side of the transaction in the Fox cities is going to run you, with recording down at the courthouse, is going to run you somewhere around $550. So if you're keeping score, now we're at $1,450. The next thing is the lender's fees. And depending on what lender you go to, you could be looking at anywhere from $500 to $2,000. And that money has to go into the total. So as you can see, this number's really starting to get high. And that's what I'm talking about. This is a nickel and dime thing that a lot of people don't foresee, and it can get really expensive. So now the next question is, hey Millie, I don't have $3,400 laying around. How in the heck do you expect me to buy a home, no money down, but still have to come up with $3,400? Here it comes. Seller concession. How this works is, let's say you agree to buy a property for $100,000, but you know you're going to have $3,000 in costs in order to buy the property. What we'll do is an amendment to the contract, or your real estate agent will help you get this concession built in where you buy the property for $103,000. $3,000 is kicked back to you in something called a concession to help you cover your closing costs and prepaid items. The seller commonly doesn't have issue with this because they net the same. They wanted $100,000 for the house, they're getting $100,000 for the house. Now, the next thing to consider is, a lot of our clients, we talk about the seller concession piece, and they think, should I bring in the money for the down payment and the closing costs, or should I have it baked into my loan? One thing to consider, with how great rates are right now with a 30-year fixed, you're borrowing this money for less than $5 a thousand. So instead of dipping into your savings account for another $3,000, you can affect your mortgage payment by about $12 or $15. Something to consider. No skin off my teeth whether or not you bake it in. But I don't want you to sit on the sideline thinking that you have to come up with another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in excess of little, no, or some down payment because of closing costs and prepaids. There's another way to kill that cat in the alley. You got any questions about seller concessions, prepaid items, closing costs, or anything to do with the close of escrow on a piece of property? Feel free to reach out to my team right here. We're always here for you. This is your buddy, your mortgage guy, Jamie Millheiser, saving you jack on your shack.
I follow my daddy on Twitter.